Good morning, everyone. We often hear about the importance of drinking water, especially first thing in the morning. It's touted as a simple path to better health. But what if the way you're hydrating is actually doing more harm than good? For seniors, whose bodies are more finely tuned and sometimes more vulnerable, seemingly small missteps in their morning water routine can have a cumulative and surprisingly significant impact on their overall well-being. Today, we're going to shed light on 5 common yet dangerous mistakes many seniors make when reaching for that first glass of water. These aren't just minor inconveniences. If these habits persist, they can pave the way for a range of unwelcome health challenges affecting your digestion, cardiovascular health, hormonal balance, medication efficacy, energy levels, and even your long-term vitality. Ignoring these seemingly subtle errors could increase your susceptibility to chronic digestive issues, electrolyte imbalances impacting heart health, hormonal disruptions linked to serious diseases, ineffective medication management, persistent fatigue that diminishes your quality of life, and an overall decline in your body's resilience. It's time to understand these hidden pitfalls so you can take control and ensure your morning hydration truly supports a healthier and happier future. Let's uncover these critical mistakes together. Mistake 1. Drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach. Our first potential pitfall is something many of us do without a second thought. Reaching for a glass of ice-cold water first thing in the morning, often on an empty stomach. While a refreshing jolt might seem appealing, for seniors, this practice can actually place unnecessary stress on the body. Let's delve into the physiological reasons behind this. When we sleep, our bodies enter a state of relative rest. Our heart rate slows, our digestive system isn't actively processing food, and our overall metabolic activity decreases. Think of it as your internal systems gently powering down for a period of rejuvenation. Now, imagine suddenly introducing a shock of ice-cold water into this relatively calm internal environment. One of the primary concerns here relates to the digestive system. The smooth muscles lining your stomach and intestines are sensitive to temperature changes. Consuming very cold water, especially on an empty stomach, can cause these muscles to contract or spasm abruptly. This sudden constriction, often referred to as cold shock, can disrupt the natural peristaltic movements, the wave-like contractions that help move food and waste through your digestive tract. For seniors, whose digestive systems may already be a bit more sluggish or sensitive due to age-related changes, this can manifest as discomfort, bloating, abdominal cramps, or even nausea. Furthermore, the sudden drop in temperature in the stomach can also impact the enzymatic processes crucial for digestion. Enzymes are biological catalysts that speed up chemical reactions, including the breakdown of food. These enzymes function optimally within a specific temperature range, which is close to your body's core temperature. Introducing extremely cold water can temporarily lower the temperature in the stomach, potentially hindering the efficiency of these digestive enzymes. This can lead to slower digestion and reduced nutrient absorption, which is particularly important for seniors who need to maximize the nutritional value of their food. Beyond digestion, drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach can also affect your cardiovascular system. While a single glass might not cause a dramatic event, it can trigger a reflex action in some individuals, particularly those with pre-existing heart conditions or increased sensitivity to temperature changes. The sudden cold can cause blood vessels to constrict, a process known as vasoconstriction. This narrowing of blood vessels can temporarily increase blood pressure, as the heart has to work harder to pump blood through the constricted pathways. For seniors, who are often more susceptible to fluctuations in blood pressure, this sudden surge can be a concern. Another aspect to consider is the impact on your body's overall energy balance. Your body constantly strives to maintain a stable internal temperature, a process called thermoregulation. When you ingest something significantly colder than your core temperature, your body has to expend energy to warm it up. While this might seem like a minor calorie burn, for seniors who may have lower metabolic rates and less energy reserves, this extra effort can be taxing. It's like your internal furnace having to work harder to bring the cold water up to body temperature, potentially diverting energy away from other essential bodily functions. Moreover, traditional Ayurvedic medicine has long emphasized the importance of consuming lukewarm or room temperature water, especially in the morning. According to this ancient system, cold water can dampen the digestive fire, Agni, and hinder the body's natural detoxification processes that occur overnight. While not scientifically proven in the Western sense, this perspective highlights the potential for cold water to disrupt the body's internal harmony. Finally, it's important to acknowledge that as we age, our internal thermostat becomes less efficient. Our ability to regulate body temperature and respond to external changes, like the sudden intake of cold water, may be diminished. This means that seniors might experience the effects of cold water more intensely and recover from them more slowly compared to younger individuals. Solution: the simple yet profound solution to this potential problem is to switch to drinking room temperature or slightly warm water in the morning. Allowing your water to sit out for a while or gently warming it can make a world of difference. Room temperature water is much gentler on your digestive system, doesn't cause the same abrupt muscular contractions, and is less likely to interfere with enzymatic activity. Warm water, in particular, can even have beneficial effects, such as stimulating digestion and promoting bowel regularity. Think of it as a gentle internal awakening rather than a jarring cold shock. Many seniors report feeling more comfortable and experiencing fewer digestive issues simply by making this small change. It's a kind and nurturing way to greet your body each morning. Mistake 2: drinking water too fast or in big gulps. As we continue our exploration of morning water habits, let's turn our attention to the manner in which seniors consume their water. Even if the water is at the perfect temperature, drinking it too rapidly or in large gulps first thing in the morning can still present several challenges for the aging body. This seemingly innocuous act can trigger a cascade of physiological responses that are less than ideal for a gentle and healthy start to the day. One of the most immediate and noticeable effects of rapid water consumption is the acute distension of the stomach. Upon waking, particularly before any food intake, the stomach is in a relatively empty and relaxed state. Its muscular walls are not actively engaged in digestion. When a large volume of water is introduced suddenly, it exerts significant pressure on these walls, causing them to stretch quickly. This rapid expansion can trigger mechanoreceptors in the stomach lining, sending signals to the brain that can manifest as feelings of uncomfortable fullness, bloating, and even nausea. For seniors, whose stomach muscles might have lost some of their elasticity and resilience over time, this sudden stretching can be particularly jarring and uncomfortable. It can also exacerbate pre-existing conditions like gastritis or hiatal hernias, leading to increased discomfort and digestive upset. Beyond the immediate discomfort, rapidly gulping water can also have a more subtle but significant impact on the body's delicate fluid and electrolyte balance. Our bodies maintain a precise equilibrium of water and essential electrolytes like sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium, and calcium. These electrolytes are crucial for nerve and muscle function, maintaining proper hydration at the cellular level and regulating blood pressure. When a large volume of plain water is consumed quickly, especially on an empty stomach, it can temporarily dilute the concentration of these electrolytes in the extracellular fluid. This dilution, although transient as the kidneys work to restore balance, can disrupt cellular function and lead to symptoms such as lightheadedness, dizziness, muscle weakness, and even, in more extreme cases, cardiac arrhythmias. Seniors, who may already have slightly lower electrolyte reserves or be on medications that affect electrolyte balance, like diuretics, are potentially more vulnerable to these shifts. The body's compensatory mechanisms might also be less efficient with age, making it harder to quickly restore equilibrium. Furthermore, the rapid influx of a large volume of water places a sudden and increased burden on the kidneys. The kidneys are the primary organs responsible for filtering waste products from the blood and regulating fluid balance. When you drink a significant amount of water in a short period, the kidneys have to work harder and faster to process this excess fluid and excrete it as urine. While healthy kidneys can generally handle this increased workload, for seniors who might have some degree of age-related decline in kidney function or pre-existing kidney conditions, this sudden surge in activity can be stressful and potentially exacerbate existing issues. It's like asking an aging filtration system to suddenly process a flood. It might not be able to cope as efficiently as it once did. This can lead to a temporary imbalance in fluid retention and excretion. Another often overlooked consequence of gulping water is the potential for impaired nutrient absorption. While water itself doesn't directly interfere with nutrient absorption in the small intestine, the rapid passage of a large volume of fluid through the digestive tract can potentially dilute the digestive enzymes and reduce the time available for the absorption of nutrients from any subsequent food intake. If you drink a large glass of water right before or during a meal, it can create a feeling of fullness that might lead to eating less, thus reducing overall nutrient intake. Moreover, the rapid transit of fluids might not allow sufficient contact time between the digested food and the intestinal lining where absorption primarily occurs. For seniors who need to maximize nutrient intake due to potentially reduced appetite or absorption efficiency, this is a significant concern. Beyond the physiological effects, the act of sipping water slowly promotes a more mindful and conscious approach to hydration. When you take small, deliberate sips, you are more likely to register the feeling of thirst quenching and allow your body's natural hydration sensors to function effectively. Gulping water quickly often bypasses these signals, potentially leading to overhydration or a disconnect from your body's actual needs. Seniors, whose thirst sensation might be diminished, can benefit particularly from this mindful approach, as it encourages them to hydrate intentionally rather than relying solely on the feeling of intense thirst. Finally, consider the practical aspect of potential discomfort and even choking hazards. Drinking too quickly can increase the risk of water going down the wrong pipe, leading to coughing and discomfort. For seniors who might have subtle difficulties with swallowing or a weaker cough reflex, this risk, although usually minor, can be more concerning. Slower, more controlled sips minimize this possibility and ensure a smoother and safer hydration process. Solution: the remedy for this is remarkably simple yet profoundly effective. Adopt the habit of sipping your morning water slowly and deliberately over a period of 15 to 20 minutes. Instead of reaching for a large glass and emptying it in a few quick gulps, take small, gentle sips, allowing the water to be absorbed gradually and gently by your body. This slower intake allows your stomach to accommodate the fluid without sudden distension, gives your kidneys a more manageable workload, helps maintain electrolyte balance, and promotes better nutrient absorption from subsequent meals. Think of it as a gentle internal awakening, a gradual and nurturing way to rehydrate your body after the night's rest. This mindful approach not only optimizes the physiological benefits of hydration, but also fosters a more peaceful and comfortable start to your day. Encourage yourself to savor each sip, paying attention to how the water feels as it enters your body. This small change can make a significant difference in your Mistake 3. Drinking from plastic bottles left out overnight. Let's now turn our attention to a seemingly convenient habit that could be silently undermining your health: drinking water from plastic bottles that have been left out overnight. While the ease of having water readily available by your bedside is understandable, this practice carries potential risks associated with the migration of chemicals from the plastic into the water. For seniors, whose bodies may be more susceptible to the effects of these chemicals, this is a habit worth reconsidering. The primary concern stems from the leaching of various chemical compounds from the plastic material into the water over time. Most single-use plastic water bottles are manufactured using polyethylene terephthalate, PET or peat, identified with the recycling code number 1. While generally considered safe for its intended single-use application, PET can release small amounts of substances, particularly when subjected to prolonged contact with liquids, temperature fluctuations, or physical stress. Other types of plastics, such as those marked with recycling codes number 3, PVC, number 6, polystyrene, and number 7, often containing bisphenol A or other concerning chemicals, are generally considered less safe for repeated use or extended storage of beverages. One of the most widely discussed and researched chemicals associated with plastic leaching is bisphenol A, BPA. BPA is an industrial chemical that has been used in the production of certain plastics 1 and epoxy resins. It is known to be an endocrine disruptor, meaning it can mimic or interfere with the body's hormones. Even at low levels of exposure, BPA has been linked to a variety of health concerns, including disruptions in reproductive function, increased risk of cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes, and neurobehavioral problems. While many newer plastic bottles are now marketed as BPA-free, this doesn't necessarily mean they are free of all potentially harmful chemicals. Manufacturers often use BPA alternatives such as bisphenol S, BPS, or bisphenol F, BPF, and emerging research suggests that these alternatives may also have endocrine-disrupting effects. Beyond bisphenol, other chemicals used in plastic production, such as phthalates, can also leach into water, especially with prolonged contact and warmer temperatures. Phthalates are a group of chemicals used to make plastics more flexible and durable. They are also known endocrine disruptors and have been linked to developmental and reproductive issues. The temperature of the environment plays a significant role in the rate and extent of chemical leaching. Leaving a plastic water bottle in a room that warms up during the day, especially near a window exposed to sunlight or a heating vent, can accelerate the migration of chemicals from the plastic into the water. Even seemingly minor temperature increases over several hours can enhance this process. The duration of contact between the water and the plastic is another critical factor. Leaving water in a plastic bottle overnight allows for an extended period for potential chemicals to diffuse from the plastic matrix into the liquid. The longer the water remains in contact with the plastic, the higher the concentration of leached chemicals may become. Furthermore, plastic surfaces can be porous at a microscopic level, providing a breeding ground for bacteria and other microorganisms, especially if the bottle is not cleaned thoroughly and regularly. Leaving water in an open bottle overnight exposes it to airborne bacteria and dust particles, which can contaminate the water. While your body's immune system and stomach acid can often handle small amounts of these contaminants, seniors with potentially weakened immune systems might be more susceptible to gastrointestinal issues. It's also important to consider the age and condition of the plastic bottle. Older bottles, or those that have been scratched or damaged, are more likely to leach chemicals. Repeated use and washing can degrade the plastic over time, increasing its permeability and the potential for chemical migration. Solution: to mitigate these potential risks, the most prudent approach is to transition to using water bottles made from inert materials such as glass or food-grade stainless steel. Glass is non-reactive and does not leach chemicals into liquids, regardless of temperature or duration of contact. Stainless steel is also a safe, durable, and non-leaching option. Make it a consistent habit to empty your water bottle each evening. Wash it thoroughly with soap and water, and then refill it with fresh, clean water each morning. This simple practice eliminates the risk of chemical leaching associated with prolonged contact with plastic. Furthermore, Using a clean bottle daily minimizes the potential for bacterial contamination. Investing in a good quality glass or stainless steel water bottle is a small but significant step towards safeguarding your health and ensuring that your morning hydration routine is truly beneficial. Consider keeping a pitcher of fresh water by your bedside and pouring a glass each morning rather than relying on a plastic bottle that has been sitting out. This ensures that the water you drink first thing is not only hydrating, but also free from potentially harmful contaminants. Mistake 4. Drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach after certain medications. Our fourth crucial point emphasizes the often overlooked interplay between your morning water intake, the timing of your meals, and the administration of medications. The way you consume water around the time you take your medications can significantly influence their absorption, effectiveness, and even your comfort. For seniors, who often manage multiple medications, understanding these nuances is paramount for ensuring optimal therapeutic outcomes and minimizing potential side effects. Let's first dissect the scenario of drinking a large volume of water immediately after taking medication that is intended to be taken on an empty stomach. Many medications are specifically formulated for optimal absorption in the acidic environment of an empty stomach. The absence of food allows the drug to dissolve and be absorbed into the bloodstream more efficiently. When you take such a medication and then follow it with a significant amount of water, you can inadvertently accelerate its passage through the stomach and into the small intestine. While this might seem like it would aid absorption, it can sometimes lead to the medication being processed too quickly, potentially reducing the amount of drug that is effectively absorbed. This rapid transit can also irritate the stomach lining in some individuals, leading to feelings of nausea, bloating, or even mild epigastric discomfort. Furthermore, a large influx of water can dilute the stomach acid, potentially altering the intended dissolution rate of the medication. It's crucial to adhere to the specific instructions provided by your doctor or pharmacist regarding whether to take a medication with or without food and the recommended amount of water. Conversely, consider the situation of drinking a large glass of water immediately after consuming a substantial breakfast when you need to take medication on an empty stomach. In this case, the primary issue is the presence of food in the stomach, which can significantly hinder the absorption of drugs designed to be taken on an empty stomach. Food can bind to the medication, alter its chemical properties, or slow down its absorption into the bloodstream. Drinking a large volume of water on top of a full stomach will only further mix the medication with the stomach contents, prolonging its contact with food and potentially reducing its bioavailability, the extent to which the active drug ingredient becomes available at the site of action. This can lead to the medication being less effective than intended, potentially compromising your treatment. It's also important to consider the type of medication being taken. Some medications are formulated for immediate release, while others are designed for sustained or extended release. The way these different formulations interact with water and food can vary. For instance, drinking a large amount of water with a sustained-release medication that is not intended for this rapid transit could potentially disrupt its intended release mechanism, leading to a sudden surge of the drug followed by a quicker drop-off in its concentration in the bloodstream. Furthermore, the overall hydration status of the individual can also play a role. If someone is significantly dehydrated, taking medication with a small amount of water might be sufficient for swallowing without significantly affecting absorption. However, consistently relying on minimal water intake with medications can also be problematic, as adequate hydration is generally necessary for proper drug dissolution and distribution throughout the body. The age-related changes in physiology in seniors also make this consideration particularly important. As we age, gastric emptying can slow down, and the acidity of the stomach may decrease. These changes can already affect drug absorption. Improper water intake around medication administration can further complicate these processes, leading to unpredictable drug levels in the body. Solution: the key to navigating this is to follow the specific instructions provided by your doctor or pharmacist for each of your medications. Generally, when taking a pill, it's advisable to use a small to moderate amount of water, typically around half a cup to 1 full cup, to facilitate swallowing. If the medication is to be taken on an empty stomach, ensure you do so at least 1 hour before eating or 2 hours after. Avoid drinking a large volume of water immediately after taking it. Instead, wait for about 30 to 60 minutes before consuming a full glass of water or eating your meal, unless otherwise directed. Conversely, if the medication is meant to be taken with food, take it shortly after or during your meal with the recommended amount of water. If you have any uncertainty about the best way to take your medication with water, never hesitate to ask your healthcare provider or pharmacist for clear and specific guidance. They can provide personalized advice based on your individual medication regimen and health conditions. This mindful approach to medication administration, coupled with appropriate water intake, is crucial for maximizing the therapeutic benefits of your medications and ensuring your overall well-being. Mistake 5. Skipping breakfast and replacing it with only water. Our final and profoundly important morning mistake is the potentially detrimental habit of skipping breakfast entirely and attempting to substitute it with just water. While adequate hydration upon waking is undoubtedly beneficial, water alone cannot fulfill the complex nutritional needs of your body, especially after the overnight fasting period. For seniors, whose nutritional requirements and energy reserves may be more nuanced, this practice can have significant negative consequences on their physical and cognitive well-being. Upon waking, after several hours without food intake, your body's glucose levels, the primary source of energy for your brain and muscles, are typically low. Breakfast, as its name suggests, is intended to break the fast and replenish these vital energy stores. Consuming a balanced breakfast that includes carbohydrates, protein, and healthy fats provides the necessary fuel to kickstart your metabolism, power your brain function, and sustain your energy levels throughout the morning. Water, while essential for hydration and numerous bodily functions, does not provide any calories or the macronutrients your body needs for energy production and tissue repair. Drinking a large amount of water on an empty stomach might create a temporary sensation of fullness, which can mistakenly be interpreted as satiety. However, this feeling is short-lived and does not address the underlying physiological need for nutrients. Relying solely on water in place of breakfast essentially deprives your body of the essential building blocks and energy sources it requires to function optimally. The consequences of consistently skipping breakfast and only consuming water can be multifaceted, particularly for seniors. Reduced energy levels and increased fatigue. Without the fuel provided by food, your body will struggle to produce the energy needed for daily activities. This can lead to persistent feelings of tiredness, lethargy, and a general lack of vitality. Seniors, who might already experience age-related fatigue, can find this significantly exacerbated by skipping breakfast. The initial feeling of fullness from water quickly dissipates, leaving behind a state of energy deficit, impaired cognitive function and concentration. The brain is a highly energy-demanding organ, relying heavily on a steady supply of glucose. Skipping breakfast can lead to a drop in blood sugar levels, resulting in difficulty concentrating, impaired memory, reduced mental clarity, and overall diminished cognitive performance. For seniors, maintaining sharp cognitive function is crucial for independence and quality of life, and skipping breakfast can directly undermine this. Muscle loss and weakness. Protein, a key component of a balanced breakfast, is essential for muscle repair and maintenance. As we age, muscle mass naturally tends to decline, sarcopenia. Skipping breakfast deprives the body of an opportunity to replenish amino acids needed for muscle protein synthesis, potentially accelerating muscle loss and contributing to weakness and frailty. Metabolic dysregulation. Consistently skipping breakfast can disrupt the body's natural metabolic rhythms. It can lead to insulin resistance over time, increasing the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. When you skip breakfast, your body might try to conserve energy, leading to a slower metabolism overall. When you eventually do so, as we've explored today, making a few simple adjustments to your morning water routine can have a profound impact on your health and how you feel throughout the day. Remember, these aren't drastic changes, but rather mindful tweaks that honor your body's needs as you age. We encourage you to take these insights to heart and consider how you can incorporate these healthier habits into your daily life. Start with 1 or 2 changes that resonate with you and notice how your body responds. It's about progress, not perfection. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here's to a healthier, more vibrant, and well-hydrated morning for each and every one of you. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it with your loved ones. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on healthy aging. Wishing you a wonderful and energized day.